Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert and
Wendy Stewart.
we are back with listings, loans, and libations. And so cheers. Cheers. I had to say that 3 times. We're very excited to be back and be live. We had a little bit of a delay last week or the week before. We had some challenges, but we are back and we're here to impart our quote unquote wisdom on you. I'm going to talk about loans, so pull up a chair and pop some popcorn. That should be exciting for anybody who's here. But yeah, we wanted to do this show. It was actually Wendy's idea. I have to give her all the credit. Talk about loan programs, which can be really boring. But
You
give
make
you
them fun,
well,
though.
because we all have fun. Because you better go fact check whatever Ted says. Oh my God, so interesting. I got to get back on topic. It's funny because the last one we did, I had so many people message me and go, "Wow, I had fun watching you two." So I think that's part of it. We have a good time,
and I think we bring it down to a level that's understood to all.
Yes,
Right, because
yes.
you have to say things in a certain way to me as well.
Yeah, I need it. I need whatever the lowest bar is, and I need you to go lower.
Are we not smarter than fifth graders?
I am definitely not smarter than a fifth grader. But so tell them about you for those people who don't know who Wendy Stewart is.
Wendy Stewart is a vivacious 43-year-old managing broker of the Property Pros, #NoahPro. I have been doing real estate for almost 10 years now. I do love what I do, and I would love to keep doing it. So, buyers, sellers, I'm your girl. But no, all jokes aside, there's so many, this is an ever-changing market, and there's so many new programs that I wasn't aware of, and, I didn't have the 101 on, and so that's why I thought it'd be kind of cool to and it's always good to go live because you never know what's going to
look. You can tell Ted doesn't know what he's doing with the camera today. I'm right-handed, so this is interesting.
I don't know what he's doing, but always fun to learn.
Well, I think we need to talk. We were talking about it last time. I think providing realtors and lenders, loan officers too, kind of the means to expand their horizon and do something maybe they're not used to doing, or they've been afraid to do, or they just because they don't know the product, they don't want to talk about it. And so you're missing this entire audience of potential buyers and sellers if you're not out there at least saying, "Hey, I know a guy," or "Hey, I know a girl." And that's
right.
Sort of from the lending perspective, plus the marketing. We're all trying to figure out how to market in this particular market that we're in. We were talking about it earlier. After our last show, Wendy's gotten more buyers. I think that focus, like talking it out and talking through it, is just super important. We did an event last night, and the energy was insane.
That's amazing.
Thank you to everyone who came. I mean, normally if you have 60 RSVPs, 30 come if you're lucky.
Right.
We had almost 60 people there.
That's amazing. I heard it was a blast.
It was. And the whole point of it was, let's all talk. Let's commiserate if we have to, but let's give each other some ideas and introduce to other people who are doing things, because we're all trying to do our own thing, and we forget we're all in this together.
And can I just say, can we all be honest about it too? I feel like when people ask me, how's your business? I'm very honest. Hey, it's not the greatest.
Yeah.
This is not my year. I'm very honest. I feel like people aren't being honest about it because I pull numbers. And
me too.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know, your Facebook life isn't matching your numbers.
Well, that's the thing. I think the interesting thing about Facebook, a lot of people, so the people who post obviously know they're posting and appearances for whatever reason they're doing it, bless and release, right? The problem is that a lot of people are comparing themselves to those people, and then they're feeling bad, or they're feeling they're not doing enough, and oh my God, how is this person?
They probably are.
Correct. And so again, this is just a little psychology lesson, but don't believe everything you see on Facebook.
No.
And don't be hurt at yourself or angry at yourself.
Yeah, if you're doing all the things, you're planting all the seeds, you're doing your part, and like you should be doing, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think those those seeds will sprout and blossom. And but let's just keep it real. Like if you ask me, I'm always going to tell you good, bad, ugly.
Yeah.
Not that there aren't people in the industry there are people having the best year ever,
There
you
are.
know, and you know what I see those people, tell me what you're doing. Like, I
Well,
want to know,
correct.
you know what I mean? Because if it was me and I was having my best year ever, I would certainly share what I was doing. So I don't know. I think your event yesterday, people were keeping it real.
Very
And
much
that's
so.
why everyone was just it was a good vibe, good energy.
Because when you're surrounded by people and you realize, crap, I'm not the only one struggling.
Right. You kind of feel good.
You feel better.
Because
Yes,
misery loves company.
it does. But I have to give kudos, shout out to the sponsors who were Anthony DeNova, Park Avenue Title, Tammy Birchler with Home Warranty of America, and John Tankersley with Get Home Insurance Now.
Awesome.
And of course, us at Homelandia. We just wanted to do an event, and kudos to Anthony. It was his idea of just let's all get together. No agenda. No presentations, not a whole bunch of, there was nothing on the tables except a lot of drinks and food. And we really just wanted to have a good time because I think we all could use it. But what happened from there is a couple of drinks in and you start to realize, wow, I'm not by myself in this crazy market.
I love that because like I said, we just got to keep it real.
Right.
Everybody in every profession has good days and bad days and good months and bad months. And so I think the more we keep it real and, you know.
And the activity, we were talking about activity with your buyers. You had a spike in that. And I feel like the activity is there. Like I'm getting a lot. It's just the loans, from my perspective, are taking longer than I'm used to close.
Are they? So are we back to like 45 days?
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say that because then everybody's going to go, oh my God, Ted can't close in less. And that's not true. We've closed in much less.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is that it's not an easy buyer market. The experienced investors is easier, but like first time home buyers who are finally dipping their toe out and they don't have any kind of preconceived crazy notions about 2% and 3% interest rates. They're not as prepared.
Yeah.
They have an apartment that they're paying an exorbitant amount of money for, but maybe they haven't saved. Maybe they've let their credit go. So
because it's
taking
hard
longer.
To save
it is hard
now.
to save.
Everything is so gosh darn expensive. We talked about this the other day. I know I was talking about it with my friends, and we're like, I went to Chick-fil-A the other day, and I'm like, when did Chick-fil-A turn out to be like $70?
It's insane
for four of us. Like it is insane, right? So it's hard for people to save. I really feel for people, and I see this commercial. I don't know if you've seen it, Ted. It says like the housing crisis doesn't have the face that you think it would have, and they show teachers and they show nurses and they're all in this housing crisis because things are expensive. I don't know.
It's a lot, and I think that we just have to be patient with our buyers. And then, of course, people are like, well, it should be great for the sellers. Well, the sellers then have to go buy something else. And so if you're used to paying 2 or 3% interest and you're buying at 8, I'll use 8 as an example, you're gun shy. And so we just have to realize that it's just taking a little bit longer to get people prepped. Hometown Heroes was so great because it provided some much needed money into the ability, or giving the ability to buy for first time home buyers, but that ran out quickly, of course. Okay, so seller concessions for closing costs and prepaids are becoming more common. Yes, and we've talked about that. I'm a big proponent of, maybe we talked about this last time, the 2-1 buy down or the 3-2-1 buy down.
That was it.
You just made me change the whole thing. We were going to talk about 1% programs. We'll do that next time. But that is a great point. So seller concessions, don't forget that buy down option is such a beautiful option. Get with a mortgage broker that knows and understands the 2-1 buy down or the 3-2-1 buy down. It's a great way for sellers to give concessions that will attract more buyers because it's an interest rate reduction for 2 years or 3 years.
So much so you guys are helping my first time home buyers from South Florida, and John's helping them out.
John's awesome.
And they are like, Wendy, we can actually, with this buy down, we can actually get into the house that we want.
Correct.
And we know that we'll have options later on, and we just want to get into the house. Right now they're spending a lot of money in South Florida, right, on rent. So it's like they're so excited about this program. It allows them to be homeowners. And,
correct.
And there's benefits that come with homeownership. There's tax benefits. There's
A
so
ton.
yeah. So
you're paying in a mortgage. Wouldn't it be nice to pay your own?
yes.
That's the whole little thing.
Yeah.
All right. So
what
let's sell our concessions. So we're going to talk about investors, which investors, there's a lot of new ones, but there's still a ton of seasoned ones that are doing a lot of business in our beautiful state of Florida. But investors, we have a DSCR loan. And I just want to talk a little bit about that. And if y'all have questions during the show, great. If not, you can ask me later. But a DSCR loan is debt service coverage ratio. So basically, that loan is looking at the income, the rental income on the property rather than the borrower's income. So think about that. We're looking at what kind of rent, either historically or from comps, that particular project or property will bring in. And what's great about it is the down payments aren't as big as you would think.
Right.
It's not. A lot of times people think that because I do hard money too, but the hard money obviously is a little bit of a higher down payment. But the down payments on these can start as low as 10%, depending on the qualifications. But this is a great way for you, my realtor friends,
right,
to go out and go, I have an investor program, and expand your base. If all you've ever focused on is your particular database, and which is going to be hard because you probably got them all into homes at 2 and 3%.
Correct.
Now you need to figure out how to get out there, how to broaden that horizon. Go after investors. There's a ton of investor groups that meet locally.
Say, how do we do that, Ted?
CFRI is one. They've been around forever. CFRI.net. You can also join a lot of the Facebook groups that are truly good and investor centric. You join those and you get a ton of ideas. But going to events where investors like to go, getting outside of your comfort zone. I'm attending a physician and attorney event on Thursday. So there's some disposable income there. They're investors. So think outside the box. Just because your database doesn't include a ton of investors, you have to go out and maybe network differently and think about, you can also get from your favorite title company absentee owner lists.
Yes.
And go after the absentee owners, do a nice postcard. I'd be happy to help you with that. Do a nice postcard with your title company, because that's how you expand, especially in this market. It's very hard just to simply rely only on what you've always done, because the market is unique. And so that's just my 2 cents. But
that
DSCR,
is great. That is some
God,
great.
did I impart some wisdom?
You really
are y'all
did.
fact checking me? Because you might want to.
I'm about to join some groups and go to some networking events
really
with attorneys
good.
and doctors.
You should. And that event still has tickets, I think. I don't know if Ali McCarroll will kill me, but reach out to me and I'll send you the link. Think outside of the box. Think of things that you can do that aren't what you're doing right now, because if you're like the rest of it, what you've always done isn't necessarily paying the bills like it used to pay. So you have to figure out a different way.
You mean it's not matching your Facebook life?
Yes, it's not matching that life. I love MMI, such a great tool. And I don't know what you use to look up, but I do look up mainly because I think it's important to kind of know where people are coming from, and you can never base it just on what's put on social media. I have a friend that follows social media and really beats herself up because
that can happen.
But it's rampant.
Done
it is,
because like you see, I do, like I'll look at people and I'm like, I see people doing content day and and I'm like, what? It's just me and my like what we're doing.
Exactly.
Like what's content? Like I don't do any of that. Maybe I should. But like you look at these content days and these reels and stuff, and it's all polished and pristine, and they're in front of these luxurious homes, and I'm like, gosh, like what am I doing wrong? But then it's not real.
No, and I think some people, I understand there's certain levels, right? So if you're trying to attract a high-end buyer, you're probably going to want to put a little bit more money into a $1 million or higher, or whatever your threshold is.
I get that.
But I think most people respond to real better.
Yes.
It's always
And
been.
that's what I've always tried to do. Just keep it real. Like, if this is what it is. And, but it can get so fuzzy when you start looking at.
You do. And I
stuff.
see some of those people at events, and it's fascinating because when they have a drink or two, it gets real. Last night got real. There are some people that were at the event last night that I would say are super great on their social media, but that is just an image that they're trying to portray to attract a certain buyer or seller.
Yeah.
But in reality, they're struggling like the rest of us. So I just want to encourage you all not to compare yourselves on social media.
Such a great tip for everyone, and not just about business, like everything, right? Sometimes you can. Wow, this is turning into something else. But sometimes
doesn't it always?
Sometimes even just like being a parent.
Yes.
Or a good daughter, or I don't know. Like,
I mean, of course, if you tune into Wendy's page, it's all romantic Chad and Wendy pictures, but real.
That wasn't always the case.
That's correct.
And
it
when
wasn't.
It wasn't the case, I'd post about it sucks out here.
Yeah.
The dating pool is full of pee.
I don't know how y'all. We do a whole show on dating.
Yeah,
I don't know how y'all do that.
Remember, we would talk about it. Yeah. The dating apps, and I've always tried to keep it the good, the bad, and the ugly. Whatever it is, I always try to keep it how it is.
Agreed.
Agreed.
So yeah, we want to encourage you if there are things that you want us to talk about on future shows next week.
Doesn't
I guess
just
we'll
have
do.
To be about
It does, apparently not. We'll talk about the 1% Down program, which is actually a really cool program. I'd like to go into that a little more. But if you have a topic that you want us to talk about, we'd be happy to.
Would love to.
I mean, I think it's just important for everybody to know, like, last night was just a testimony to how much that human connection is needed when everybody is going through the same thing. And we're all trying to find our way and figure it out. And so join your organizations. Pick one or two that are good for you or you think are good, or certainly ask me because I'll tell you the truth about the organization and the people. But it would be good for you to just expand a little bit and don't have that mindset, oh, that's a realtor group. That's not going to do any good for me. Let me tell you, it was filled with realtors last night, and I think it did everybody there. It was good for the heart and soul.
My broker went, Anthony, and he tells it like it is. And he said that was a really good event. And he went on his own. Leslie met up.
Yeah, Leslie came.
And they said it was really good. He said much needed. He loved every second of it. I don't think he wanted to leave. I don't know if y'all had to kick him out.
No, we did not. I don't know. He probably was there after I left.
But he said it was a much needed, great event.
And that's sort of why we do the show too, because we wanted to show you guys that even in the craziness that we've got ideas. I was talking to a realtor this morning, and I said, I know she was telling me she's struggling. And I said, well, have you tried? She's got a big brokerage she works for. I said, do you have anybody who's doing really great on listings? Why don't you volunteer to do some open houses?
Open houses, man, that's the way again.
There's just old school is back, and I think some of that stuff never should go away. Yeah. But just think of the things that you can do with the tools you have without spending any money, because if you're not making money, you're afraid to spend any money, and I get the thought process.
Yeah.
But that's an easy way, and then loop in your favorite title company and your favorite lender and have them bring the suites or whatever you want to have at the open house.
The great thing about a market like this is, you get real creative. And I remember when I didn't have any money or partners at the time, I was brand new and I was like, what am I going to do? I don't have money. I don't know what I'm going to do. And at that time I was like, you know what? We have the lakefront in St. Cloud. And on the weekends, I'd put on my roller skates and I'd make I'd go to the dollar store and buy little doggy treats, and I'd put them in a Ziploc bag, and I would attach my card, and I would roller skate up and down the lakefront. And every time I saw someone with a dog, because dog people are friendly.
Very.
Right? You give me something for my dog, I'm going to love you forever.
Correct.
So I'd give them a little doggy treat with my card attached. And you wouldn't believe the buzz I got out of that.
That is so cool. I don't know that story.
That's the stuff that I used to do. No money. You get real creative. And that's, I think, and talking to your part, like you've given me so many ideas, and and I'm implementing. That's the other thing. Implementing.
Imagine that.
So, and now look, we've got some stuff going on with some new
awesome.
buyers, and so be vulnerable.
Vulnerable. Yeah, I think it's so important, that kind of stuff. is it works. And so you also want to, like, she loves dogs, right? I love animals too. Think about that. Think about your personal interests as well.
Yes.
And think about the things that you like. Roller skating, I hope there's video of that because I can't picture that for some
I
reason.
used to be good at it.
Oh my God, I have no balance. So I needed that push cart one. But I think that people are so busy focused on what everyone else is doing. Find your niche. If you like to volunteer, getting involved in an organization, I talked about this on my Bless Your Business podcast yesterday. Get involved in charity. Why? Because you love it, yes, but you also meet a whole different group of people, and they're going to want to know what you do.
Yeah.
And don't be shy about telling people what you do.
That's important too. Ask.
That's my 2023
Ask
word.
for the business.
And I go up and down on it. Sometimes I still forget. But find something that interests you. If you love animals, there's the Pet Alliance, there's Back to Nature. There are things that you can get involved with or support.
Mm-hmm.
And by supporting your tribe, the kids hate when I say tribe because it's so antiquated and I'm too old to say it, apparently.
Oh, I didn't know
I'm too
that.
old to say
Oh.
it. But get with those people will then go, Wendy likes dogs. That's pretty cool. I like dogs too. It's this crazy immediate connection that people make in their minds without even thinking about it. And so if you have a passion, you should be promoting that instead of your key and just closed and my pet peeves of all times. Like, you can do that when you do it, but if that's the only thing you're putting on social media, that's a whole nother show. All right. So that was good. So if you guys have questions, thoughts, input, want us to talk about something, next week we will talk about 1%. But investors, we love you and we love investors, and I want you guys to feel comfortable talking about those. So be happy to come train. I do a lot of training and education, and I love to do that. And so, we always have a good time.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
All right.
We love you. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Hold on. I like this. Yes, photography. Mention professional photography as a benefit. We should do an entire show on that. I'm a big believer in photography, professional photography. And
Absolutely.
I think it makes a huge difference.
Oh,
much like I can tell when you people use ChatGPT to write your stuff.
Oh my gosh, that's gotta go. That's gotta stop.
I have stories. I can also tell when you're taking a photo from your flip phone. So it's
grandma's in the background in her moo like those are
I can't. So yes, professional photography. We'll have to talk about that one next time. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. Have a great week. Bye.